One of the most specific indicators of authenticity is when somebody presents ideas couched in that signature language and energy from that soul, from their own soul. And you know it when you hear it. You
Mhm.
know it. And you are amazed. This stuff that comes out of kids' mouths is amazing. Our grandson at age 7, he comes up and he says, I have two enemies. What? Liam, what age 7 would you have that awareness that you have enemies? And this child went on, I'm looking at him like he's Guru Nanak. I said, how did you get there? He says, they're my enemies because of what they do and how they think. Now, what the hell?
Oh,
So I know. So is his soul message to teach people how to recognize that? I don't know. I don't know. But you will know that signature when you hit it because you might be saying the exact same thing as 1,000 other people, but you're doing it in your own way, in your own language, your own beliefs. And it's not as much as what you say, but what's coming through you while you're saying it. So let me explain. How do you know that you are not destined to shift just one thing in this world that changes how humanity accesses the divine? How do you know that you don't have a very personal idea that's clearly identifiable by your own verbiage and approach that won't change an event? Or how do you know that it won't? How do you know it won't change the world? You don't know that. What if everybody was authentic? Oh my God. I like what Chase Hughes says about it. It gives me hope. He says, if I ask somebody if they're authentic, they go, yeah, I know they're not. Well, there's hope for me because I, I don't think I'm too much of a bullshitter. That's why I tell y'all, don't believe what I'm telling you. Just listen and question it and wake up yourself. Make up your own stories. When we are being authentic, that's so special because absolutely nobody else can present us as we are accessing our own soul. Nobody can do it. It's your God gifted illumination of what you were sent here to do. Nobody else can do it. You want to be different? You want to be special? All you have to do is be yourself. You don't have to dress like one of these idiotic Hollywood movie stars, eat things, take this drug, do this, do these hand movements or whatever. All you have to do is shut up and sit for a while and go, okay, this is hard. I don't like this. I don't feel good about me because I don't know where to go with it. You have to work through that. You have to sit through it and you don't have to eat the whole elephant in one bite. There is just going to be a piece at a time. So, and this is part of it. What you call you is seen as you. This is me. I see me. But that's really our personality. We think that's us. We think that's the physical body. That's us. But in the future, we'll have a finer frequency access to know that when I say this is me, I'm referring to my soul, not the personality, the person dash ality. You see, it's what you express. Your personality changes every lifetime. Your body changes every lifetime. Your emotional charges, they change every lifetime because they're connected to the physical world. And those are the things that get you in trouble because they're connected to what? The physical world. We see the body, the emotions, and this personality as us. This is me. This is who I am. when I die, but what you really mean is when the body dies, because you don't die. You never die. You don't. That's a low level energy of saying who you are. It lacks the God spark of the soul infused being, that peace that you came here to do, that you spend all day looking for and you don't know what you're looking for. The reason we're not taught this in school is the teachers don't have a clue what it is. The religions and their dogma, they're delegating the task of pointing out that we are more than the pieces that we use to access the physical world. The purpose of churches is to teach and heal. That's it. And once again, the true religion, the true reason, I mean, not the true religion, but the true reasons why some say they're the true religion or we're the only one. And they say, you're a sinner from the moment of birth till death. And once again, it's actually born of this truth that we are addicted to and connected to the physical world as long as we're not living from our soul. And unfortunately, they couch that core truth with all of their blame and fault and dogma. And you have to do what we do in order to be saved. And that's just ridiculous. You know, people do want to know. People want, right? We want higher power. We want it for the freedom that we're seeking. Now, look at all this stuff on our media. Does it address that? No. All of the influence, all of these faces that talk to us on all our devices, they present ideas and these so-called facts of things you're supposed to do and the way you're supposed to think. They're not really selling anything. They're trying to convince you to think their way. If they can change how you think, you will change what you do. You will change what you do because action follows thought. Consider the implications of that. Action follows thought. If they can change how you think, you yourself will continue to change what you do. I mean, do you see without recognizing it that videos and people that we see on these feeds, YouTube, television, these are not our friends, but sometimes we treat them like they're our best friend. We're sitting here in our underwear, drinking coffee, eating donuts, watching our friends. They're not your friends. They're people on your device. But this is how things have changed. This is the falsehood of how these things have changed. And what we are seeing happening is rebellion against that. It's slow, but it's happening. Hollywood is losing its glamour, it's losing its power. You know, the movies, very few people go to movies. Why? They're watching streaming? I don't know. But when people are dressing and acting in a certain way, telling you that if you do this, people will look at you because that's what their stuff is all about, attention. So why isn't that true for me? I am doing this radio show. I'm doing the podcast. So I want attention. So that's something for me to deal with. How do I mediate it? Well, I can't even get on the whatever sites we're on, Linda. I don't look at it, the comments, whatever, because it's more toxic to me to have people like what I'm doing than to have people hate what I'm doing. I'm used to the hate. I'm used to the negativity. I know how to do that. But God help me if I ever allow an addiction to come where I become addicted to what other people say about me, to me, for me. That's not my personal world.
You're a good example for that because you're doing this because it's your sole purpose to create and express and share. You're not doing it for physical gain or to be part of the physical world. You're just using, these platforms, you don't even know what platforms you're on, as a method of communication and to share some of these conversations.
Well, it's not over yet, is it? But so far,
Nope.
so far, I'm doing well with it. Part of it is that I'm an old Montana housewife living out here. I'm just out here doing my thing. Now, things can always change, and I might be challenged with that. But I don't know. I'll have to put on my big girl panties and deal with it. But you have to remember the prime directive. Why are we doing any of this? Personally, for me, I'm not selling anything. But I was told specifically, open your mouth and talk, Zoli. We will tell you what to say. Well, that's good because I don't have a freaking clue what to say. Oh, no. I'm a research analyst. I have notebook. I just filled another three-ring binders with all my research of this handwritten stuff. And God help anybody in the future that might want to study this. They're like, what was wrong with this woman? So we're all nuts. We're just nuts. But I have found a way by the grace of God to put him first. I have to. To me, that I will never get talked off of that ledge ever. It's who I am, how I am, what I am. And I was taught that starting in the 1950s by these goddesses that raised me in Alabama, these Black women. Oh my God. They taught me and guided me and helped me and they formed me. And because of them, and in the other ring, mom and dad, I had wonderful parents. But these women, these goddesses, taught me about Christ, about spirituality, about what and who I am and why I am here, and to always be grateful and try to be humble. Do I do it all the time? No, I don't. But I try. Sometimes I fail miserably, and you will too, but you're just a person. You're just a person. In between these radio shows and the podcast, really the radio shows, I'll sit and write research. I'll see something on the internet or on the news or talk to somebody, and I might write 4 or 5 pages, and I write in longhand on these white pads of paper. That's my greatest present in the world. Give me a box of paper and some pilot pens. But I write it longhand because it helps me think. So I enjoy being able to share this part of my life with you, knowing that there are thousands of people out there who are doing this same kind of work, this same kind of research. We may never meet. We may never touch each other's lives, but it's an entire energetic signature that all lives within the same field. And that energetic field is what we're sharing. And I feel it. I feel it from you guys. I feel that. You don't have to meet me. I don't have to meet you. I don't want to. I'm not social. I'm just not like that. I'm the kind of person, if I have to go to a party, I'll walk in, I'll be kind, I'll be loving, and I'll look for the exit. I'll be polite and I'll leave because it's not what I do. So anything you need to know about my life, you'll either read about it or hear about it from the website or this work. And I'm not that interesting. The work is. But you guys are the work. Who and what you are is the exact same thing of who I am and what I am, which is a human being, a spark of God in a physical body, trying to make a difference in a way that will last longer than my physical body. If I have an aspiration, I'll share this with you. Think about the people in history who have been able to create a shift or do something that has changed history. Like I think everybody has an option in their own way to do. I want to do that, but I can only do that in my own way. I can't do that in yours. I'm not going to be Carl Jung. He did it in his way. I'm not going to be Joe down there who works at the 7-Eleven, who changes people's lives every day with his kindness. I'm going to be me. And that's what I'm asking you to do, to be hopeful and to find that hope and to realize the dignity of your soul shows to people in your eyes and in your behavior and in the love that you can project out there. But never lose hope.
That's a beautiful message. And what I hear you say is we should be still and get out of our soul's way.
Oh, I love that. Be still. A while back when I was recording, I haven't done any CDs in, oh my gosh, 5 or 6 years. I thought I wanted to do one. There was a bunch of music I have, and I was going to call it Quiet Inside. Prayers for the planet, just quiet inside. When we can get quiet inside, you actually control the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing about that because it's known in psychology that in relationships, that if you are the person that is going, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. I don't want that. You control the whole thing. Now, if you're doing it to be negative or positive, the person that won't do is the one that controls it all. Is that good? Not all the time. But if you are quiet and if you find a way that I had to find many, many years ago, 30 years ago, that I just had to back up and sit on my hands. Just be quiet. Just take a breath. Somebody speaks. Take a breath. Tune in to how you feel. What does it do to you? Because that person isn't really interested in what you're saying. They want to know how it affects them, and they're maybe thinking you're going to tell them. But if you tell you and you are in tune with it and somebody says something and you give it a minute and you say, that makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. Let me sit with that a minute. Who does that?
We all should do it more.
I should. I can occasionally do it, but I find that I have to prepare myself to do that. Usually my mind, I'm so analytical. It's always looking for reasons. I want to know why. So I'll ask people a lot of questions because I want to know how to help them. Not offensive questions, and not make statements to hurt people. But these are ways that we can engage with other people to help them by us being authentic, by us being quiet inside, and to take control of the other person's panic by not biting. Don't bite on that lure.